All right. Lori.
We're live.
Yes, ma'am. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you, Dakota?
Doing good. It's been a long day. Been getting work done, but this was definitely the highlight. It's going to be the highlight of it. And
I'm excited.
definitely, me too. So, tell me, what do you specialize in?
I am a life coach and also a clinical hypnosis practitioner here in Texas, US.
It's awesome. How long have you been doing that for?
It's gonna be 3 years. No, it's 3 years and a half actually. Yeah, since 2016.
That's awesome. Awesome. I love that. I love that. Hypnosis is dope. All right. So I'm just gonna I just want people to get to know you. So I'm gonna just ask you a few questions and you just flow.
Okay, I'm ready to flow.
All right, awesome. So what are your top accomplishments?
Wow. As a human being and female, my biggest accomplishment has been to be a mom, natural mother of 8 children.
Like that.
And already have 4 grandbabies. So it's been awesome doing that. And for many years, that was my identity. That was what I was doing. I was either pregnant, nursing, changing diapers. And when my youngest baby or child went to kindergarten, I decided to go to school to do the things that I'm doing now. So a certification in life coach and clinical hypnosis. So that's another big accomplishment, that in the midst of being a mom, and because that's my main role, I was able to go to school and accomplish that. After that, publish a book. I've been in a TV, featured in a TV channel that's Hispanic, Univision. If anybody's familiar with Univision, I've been there. Networking, changing lives with what I do. Many accomplishments that I'm excited about.
That's amazing. That is amazing. So you studied NLP while you had like all those kids running around. How did you even do that?
Yeah, so not NLP exactly. It's hypnosis. It's a little bit different. And I took like 2 classes of NLP, which is, I recommend it. But yes, and I was planning in one of the semesters, I was planning the wedding, one of my daughter's wedding. That was very interesting because she was long distance and I was needing to turn in, homework and all that. And I was planning her wedding. So that was kind of challenging. Yeah. And my kids, and I'm like, Mom, you need to go to the library again to focus and do homework. And I'm like, yep, I need to do this. So that was kind of challenging.
That was amazing. Like through going through all that at one time, I know it had to take a lot of energy and take a lot of mental energy to stay focused. Like, what have you learned like through being able to do all that at one time?
That when there's a will, I learned that when there's a will, there's a way, right? If you really, really want to go after something, you have to make it happen. No excuses. And if you have your mindset to do it, go for it. And it's not going to be perfect. Even when I was planning to go back to school, I was having a conversation with another mom friend of mine. And we're like, but I don't know if I'm going to do it because life gets in the way and there's always something. I mean, it's a perfect timing because my youngest one's now going to go to kindergarten, but life gets in the way. And somebody courageous stepped in and interrupted our conversation. And she said, I'm sorry, I just overheard you. And I want to say that if not now, when? There's never going to be an ideal or perfect time. So go ahead and do it. And I'm like, wow, that was bold. That was amazing. And I appreciated that. And I took that into my heart. And that's why I'm like, okay, I'm doing it. So
it's like the power of imperfect action.
Okay, I like that. Tell me more. Imperfect action. Tell me more about that.
I mean, that's beautiful. I feel like that's just embodied what you went through going through all that once. There's no way you can plan every day. Okay, kids got to go here. I got the wedding to plan, but I also got school. Like there's no way. It's gotta be like imperfect thought, imperfect action. You're in the moment, you're in the flow. And I'm sure practicing hypnosis has probably helped you a grand and being able to deal with that. Because I can't even imagine, honestly.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Learning with the classes and learning with the homework. If I was to become a healer, right, or a coach, I needed to heal myself.
Yes.
And homework and everything is with that focus, with that purpose to, back in the day when I was doing the schooling, it's with that purpose. And it's a lot of digging, a lot of soul search, and releasing and resolving a lot of issues from the past. And it's an ongoing journey, right?
Yeah.
But that helped me. And learning about the power of the mind, specifically doing hypnosis, I was just like, wow, this is amazing. And it took me those 3 years basically to come up with a routine like you were talking about. So you are years ahead, Dakota, because earlier in our conversation when you were saying like, I meditate, I do yoga, I work out in the morning, and you have a great routine. It takes years for some people to build those habits and make them second nature and part of their lifestyle. And not a lot of people do that, what you do and what I do. So I totally recommend get with Dakota, have him or watch his videos explaining to you what is it that he does in the mornings. Because it took me basically like those 3 years for me to be able to establish my morning routine. Because the other years it was just playing it by ear, right? Like the baby and this and that and drained and tired. So now I was stepping into a stone of having a better structure for my personal growth and for good habits.
Definitely. It takes a while. It took me a long time. I appreciate the shout out. It took me a few years. Not gonna say
Okay.
like 7 years.
Okay.
So wow.
Younger than me, so you're a step ahead. You are at an advantage.
No, but I applaud you. I tried to do it by myself. I just read a lot of books and tried to experiment. But you can help people get there faster, right? Because I wouldn't recommend doing my path and not having somebody kind of hold your hand through the process. Because I went through a lot of pain figuring out what works and what doesn't work, and that's why I'm pretty confident now because I've been through like the worst through trying to figure it out on my own. But I'm sure I recommend people get with the coach and have them hold their hand. So you talked about the subconscious mind a little bit. Tell me about affirmations.
Affirmations is what is it about? Specifically, I am fascinated by what you do. Right? Is introverts. You help introverts get out there and conquer that. Right? So affirmations, because we were as a child or whatever happened in the past, we were so conditioned to a belief system. We heard so many voices talking to us and telling us a lot of things that probably instigated these behaviors of being introvert, right? Since that's your niche, that's who you help. I am almost 95% sure that this introvert has something to do with the upbringing as a childhood, during the childhood, and the reptile brain, when you're developing, anchors that in your brain subconsciously and think, well, I must be careful, I must be shy, I must be, whatever it is that an introvert is, which there's nothing wrong with it. In many ways, I can be very much an introvert too, as much as I'm a speaker and all that, but I kind of get in my shell too sometimes. Affirmations, if you want the opposite of where you are right now, affirmations play an important role because you need to reprogram that mind. And reprogramming the mind, the same way as in the movie theater, they say you need to get your popcorn now, you need to get your cola now, right?
Mm-hmm.
The same way as that works. Some people just stand up and go get it. That's kind of like subliminal messages, right? You need those type of subliminal messages or more direct messages so you can be reminded of your potential. What is it that you can accomplish? What is it that you can do? I want to talk to that girl. Well, I'm brave enough. I'm enough. I'm good enough for me to go talk to the girl, talk to that manager and ask for a raise. I mean, affirmations are very much a trend, or they've had a comeback. And if you haven't gotten on the train, get on it. Whatever you're struggling with, weight release. Look up in Google affirmations for weight release. And you're going to see a beautiful list of things like my body heals, my body releases, or I'm too much of an introvert. Well, I can get out of my head, or I can speak my mind, or I can express myself freely. So those are affirmations. They are powerful. They're important. I'm going to leave it there for right now if you want to ask me more questions about it, because I don't want to overload you, but they're great.
Well, I love that. And yeah, you're right. Like, I Google affirmations and there's always like hundreds of lists. There's videos that play like 24/7 about just spewing random affirmations. Well, some are geared toward more like breaking down traumatization or things of that nature. But I'm interested, since you say that when you use affirmations, you can break down things you've been through and kind of go the opposite way. What are the top 3 affirmations that have helped you become the person you are?
This is good. Good question. Right on the spot. So I'm enough is a good one. I'm enough. And for believers or whomever believes in their God, universe, whatever, it's let go and let God, right?
Mm-hmm.
And another one is everything will be okay. Everything will work out. So simple, right? So simple ones. There's no fanciness to them. There's not big elaborations, but letting go is important. Not being super attached to your plans, to your ideas, to your whatever is just like, okay, what can I let go of? So I can be open to receive whatever the universe, the world, God has for me. That is key. Sometimes our plans are not the best plans as much as we're attached to them. And let it go. It's a way to surrender a little bit, not because we're quitting, but because we're, like you mentioned earlier, we're letting the flow go. And sometimes the flow doesn't go where we want it. It goes a different direction. So,
and sometimes it doesn't happen at the exact time that we want it to. It takes time. It's like it takes 3 years to learn hypnosis. It took me years to master my morning routine.
Very much worth it, right?
Definitely. So what would you say to somebody that thinks that affirmation doesn't work? Because I also notice a lot of people have doubt in the power of affirmations and certain NLP techniques.
It's always good to, if there's somebody that doesn't believe in affirmations, fantastic. Maybe they've tried it. Maybe there's something that's going wrong. And I respect that and I honor that space. I need to hold that person where they're at. However, affirmations, there's got to be some action too, right? So it doesn't matter that you're telling yourself this. If you don't mean it, if you don't have a purpose to it, you can say whatever you want all day, right? Positive, without feeling it. Of course, it's not gonna work. I invite you and I challenge whomever is watching. I invite you to if you have tried affirmation and they haven't given you the results you want, to evaluate how is it that you were practicing them, how consistent you were, and the intention behind it. And again, it's a process, and I'm continuing learning this myself. I hear that you need to hold that intention and that thought sometimes for like minutes. So sitting down and working on that, writing them down with an affirmation with the desire. Why is it that I want to be able to get out of my shell? Or why is it that I want to feel more confident? If you write about it, explaining, letting it out, letting it flow. I'm going to use that word a lot now, Dakota.
Oh,
Letting it flow.
okay.
What is the intention and the purpose of you wanting something that you have already affirmed or want from the world, the universe, for your life? There has to be some passion, bliss, and purpose and intention behind it, so it will work. Because affirmations are affirmations. You can look at them in the wall. If you, I Marissa Peer, she's from England. She does basically kind of what I do. She's done it for over 30 years. I'm just a rookie now compared to her, but she has a trick, and she encouraged, and she had a whole campaign inviting people to write in their mirrors, "I'm enough." So I invite you to do that. Write in your mirror, "I'm enough. I'm beautiful. I'm capable." Whatever it is that resonates with you that you need. After it gets old and you've seen it in the mirror for days, maybe write it and erase it, like with a dry erase marker. It's easy to erase from mirrors. And then put it somewhere else in the mirror, and you'll see, because it changed, or come up with something else you're ready to receive or you're ready to ask for.
Mhm.
And that way, affirmations might work for you if they have lost the charm, or if you have lost the faith on affirmations. They do work.
And it takes work. Mindset work takes a lot of work. And I love that technique, that little trick that you just said, because I'm a firm believer that words have energy to them. I know people have heard that before. So when you write a word down and you look at it for a few days and you look at it in the mirror, after a while, you'll start to believe it from the vibration that you wrote the words in. So in order to move higher, you got to keep rewriting it and recreating the beliefs and recreating the energy. That way it digests. It's a lot of different, it's not just affirmations, it's saying there's further steps. You got to take action with the affirmations. Action has energy too. Habits have energy. Goals have energy. You got to keep recreating it. I love that.
Have you heard of a study that was done with plants and music?
I did hear about that, but I
What
like
do you
to hear.
remember? What do you remember?
I think it was with a plant, and they tried to see how a plant would grow when you play positive music and how a plant would grow if you didn't play music. Not sure I remember though.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Very close. Yes. They've done it in many ways, but the one I'm talking about is that same thing. They would play like hardcore, heavy metal with foul language and things like that, versus classical music. The plants that were listening, because plant has cells, they're living things, right?
Mhm.
The plants that were listening and absorbing the metal. Sorry for the metal lovers out there, but and thing, they wilted and almost they died. Versus the plants that listen to classical music, they were thriving and blooming and blossoming, because it, like you're saying, it's energy, and it can be positive energy or negative energy.
Mhm.
And many studies have been done about what you wear, if it has skeletons in it, like skulls, they don't attract good energy. I mean, this is getting deep, but there's the emotion code out there. There's a lot of books and research about this, which is very important. So imagine if that's with plants and music. Imagine the words we tell ourselves, the scripts we run over and over in our head. "I'm stupid. I'm not good enough. I'm a failure." You are basically hypnotizing yourself with the scripts that you've come up with through the years, whether self-inflicted or because of outside voices that you were listening during your upbringing. So that gets imprinted in your brain, anchored in your brain. So that's why my work revolves around reprogramming the brain and the mind with affirmations and good suggestibility.
Got you. So you're trying to reprogram the subconscious mind through hypnosis.
Yes.
I love that. I love that a lot. So we got, what about, can you tell me about freedom from self-slavery?
Yeah, thank you. So that's my book, the book I wrote. It's a guide for self-mastery and empowerment. So because of these same things, because of these imprints or these experiences, traumas, bad memories that are intertwined with the feelings and emotions attached to these memories and experiences, we are like in shackles. We develop bad habits. We're not living our best potential. We are not living our purpose or a dream, and that's why it's so important to be free from that. I say self-slavery because it doesn't matter if it was inflicted by an outside force or being. It's still a choice, right? It's very unfortunate that those things happen to you. If it's something traumatic, it's very unfortunate, and especially when somebody else was responsible for it. But from there, it is upon us. We need to own how we're going to continue living our life. So even when we didn't write the beginning of our chapters of our lives story or book, we need to be the ones to design or write, the script of how is it that we want to end. And that has to be victory. That has to be victory. And you have the potential, and you can redesign, rewrite your story by deciding to change and by deciding to be free. Like break those shackles, whatever it takes, however that it looks like. Um, that is the base and the message that I like to talk about when I say freedom from self-slavery.
Definitely. Totally agree with that. I feel like no matter what has happened to you, the first step to be able to free yourself is take responsibility right now. Become your own author.
Absolutely.
It's totally.
Is there anything you've gone through, like you might not need to share or open up, if it's something confidential, but in context, could you share something that happened to you? You didn't plan it, somebody else did it or inflicted you with that, but then you decided to step forward regardless?
Yeah, definitely. Let's get personal. I won't get into too much detail, but yeah. So I used to have I think my first relationship. Um, I was very introverted, so I didn't start talking to people till like the ninth grade. It sounds weird, but I mean, a lot of my friends can confirm. Like, I just kind of sat in the back of the classroom, like all day, and doing that, I didn't have a lot of experience like talking to people or definitely not experience with like dealing with a girlfriend or anything like that, and what it takes to communicate in a relationship. So pretty much, I didn't have the best relationship. I argued a lot, and I feel like I didn't get the love that I wanted. Sounds weird coming from a high schooler, but I don't know. I feel like I have an old soul, and I just wasn't getting the love I wanted. So when that didn't happen because of my lack of communication, that's me taking responsibility because I felt kind of shackled, like I can't do anything about it. So what I tried to do was change myself and become more introverted, and that shackled me. I feel like it shackled me even more, and that went on for a few years, and honestly, just caused me more pain in the end. Um, in the end, it was a horrible breakup. So I feel like that's definitely a traumatic thing that happened to me because after that, I stopped talking altogether. I skipped all like trips, and I focused more and more on my business, which is a seemingly good thing, but it's kind of like working hard because I had pain. Every time I felt like I didn't get love in a relationship, I would read a whole book that day and show up the next day with the solution on how to deal with whatever happened. And it's not very healthy. It's too much changing and it's not falling in love with myself. So it took a lot of years to like undo that and be able to create this new business. and not have to have people go through that type of pain through trying to change themselves, which is why I want to teach introverts to be authentic. That's actually like the that's the that's the passion between why this is my major definite purpose. I've been through this. I know what not to do, and I tried to do it by myself, and it worked out in the end. But I went through a lot of pain, a lot of mental pain, a lot of pain to my spirit. It took a lot to like get to where I am today, coming from a place of love and positivity every day, and loving to communicate with people, even if I am introverted. Like, I always come from a place of love now. So
that is so beautiful, and thanks for sharing it. And I could totally sense that it was hard to share, and it's hard to be vulnerable and to open up. And good for you. If that was the catalyst that's helping you now pay it forward and share with others and help them prevent them from or heal or recover from those experiences, good for you. And that's what life is about, right? It's taking those life lessons, feel what we feel and process them. And it can take longer, and grieving, because you were grieving that loss, right? You were grieving that situation, what happened. Every time we lose something, a relative, even a job, something, we grieve. And if you check, there's a cycle and some steps that usually happen when we lose something. And as long as we don't dwell on it, it's in a way that it disrupts with our progress in our life. And yes, getting help is better, getting help at some point, because it accelerates a little bit, the process. But if it's a catalyst to help you wake up and then do better, and learn how to protect yourself so it won't happen again, that is crucial. That is very important. So good for you. Good for you, because you are taking that life lesson to use it for good. And that's wonderful.
Yeah. I feel like that is life. Like you just said, like just helping other people get life lessons. If I help somebody in the best way that I know how through my specific life experience, if one person helps a group of people doing what they specialize in, and then one person of that group of people helps a group of people that whatever they specialize in, and everybody does that, everybody just does what they're best and helps other people, the world will be just full of love.
A better world. Yes, definitely.
And that's the goal, honestly. That's the goal on top of my goal. Yeah.
Fantastic. That's a great goal to have, Dakota.
Definitely. Yeah. This is going awesome.
Well, I'm glad.
So, name some things. I know people friend you on Facebook and follow you, but name some things that people wouldn't know about you from the online world.
Well, maybe from the online world, they will find, if you don't know me yet on social media, you will see, well, first of all, I'm Puerto Rican. I'm from the Caribbean, and I was born and raised there. That's something that you could finally deduct from my Facebook, but in case it's hard to dig down, I'm from Puerto Rico. That's my accent and everything. So, and then I played volleyball. And I played the flute growing up. I mean, fun little facts about me growing up. Also, because I played the flute, I played the piccolo, which is a flute, but it's smaller. Piccolo means small in Italian, I think. So it was fun to do those things growing up in college and high school. So you wouldn't know that from me from social media. Played the flute, played college volleyball, and I'm from Puerto Rico. Those things.
I like that. What about Boy Scout?
Ooh, okay. Yeah, I published. I put it out there. Boy Scouts of America, but because I have 6 boys, I have 6 boys, 2 girls. But because I have 6 boys, I got very much involved at first as a parent, with my oldest. My oldest is going to be 25 pretty soon. This like next week, he'll be 25. So since he was 8, he was involved in Boy Scouts, and because I have 6 boys, I continued the program and then became a leader, volunteer within the program for over 10 years. I've been training Boy Scout leaders. There's something called the University of Scouting. Can you believe that?
Wow.
It's like a weekend where people literally go to classes to learn about Boy Scouts. So I would teach at the University of Scouting, and I would teach also in a big, very important and awesome training they have. It's a 6-day program. I staffed those trainings, and it's just wonderful to. First of all, Boy Scouts of America is a great program for the youth, for the boys, and now they have included the girls. And then I loved teaching the leaders how to be good leaders to influence the youth. So lots of years doing that.
Definitely helping the youth males how to be better leaders. Like, that's dope.
That's dope. and also encouraging them, and the whole program revolves around enjoying the outdoors and being a good citizen and all that. So that's why I really liked and embraced the program for a long time.
Awesome. Okay. So what is the number one thing that you love talking about above all else?
Well, of course, my family, but professionally, it will be the power of the mind. The power of the mind to transform lives. I'm a speaker, and my speaker page and my topics revolve around how much the mind can help you transform and change. And that's what I would love to talk about. I could share experiences, cases, of my clients and how this person had this issue, and then wow, because they reprogrammed themselves, they allowed and they opened up for change their mind now, and they've learned those hacks. They've learned the triggers and how to stop the triggers, and how it's helped. That's my main favorite topic, about the power of the mind to transform lives. If you align your mind, everything else comes to place.
Awesome. You align your mind, anything is possible.
Yes.
I like the attitude.
I mean, if you can't see it in your head, you can hold it within your hands. It's what I mean. iPhones, inventions, somebody first saw them in their head. They wanted to solve a problem. They imagined it. And once you imagine it, you can work on it to make it happen and for it to become tangible. So that is very important.
So I'll read some like articles on NLP and about affirmations, and also this technique where like it says what you're saying actually about how long you can hold a visualization in your mind. Does that also relate to why affirmations don't work for some people, because they're not holding the belief long enough?
Absolutely. Or they're not repeating them enough. Or again, when they're saying it's, the feeling when somebody says, I love you, but it's kind of shallow or empty.
Yes.
And the feeling when somebody says, I love you, right? I gave a hug to a good friend today, and they're like, oh my goodness, I felt that hug. Like, this is a hug, like a good hug. And, you can just hug somebody, or you can just hug and really transfer that energy and mean it. So probably that's why affirmations don't work for some people, because you're saying them or thinking of them without intention.
Right. Without that energy, the authentic energy, and that real energy. Right.
And it makes a difference.
I agree. I definitely agree. That's awesome. I'm loving this. All right.
Well, thank you. It's been delightful.
All right. So, is there anything that you can give away on the live?
Absolutely. I would love to give away mind yourself assessment. An assessment is just that, no strings attached. If anything, the only string would be a sentence out of the experience with me, like a review. If you like the assessment and the process and getting to know me, I would like in return, oh yeah, this was great. But I would like to give an assessment. It's a personal assessment, meaning it's an evaluation of how you're doing in different areas of your life, just to bring awareness. So I have 3 different assessments. The personal assessment, the minding your money relationship assessment is just to see how you are, how's your energy revolving, or what are your thoughts on money management and your association with money, and also sales and influence. If you are an entrepreneur and are out there and a little bit frustrated or blocked, even if you're having success, you can have more success, right? It's a sales and influence assessment. It's just a series of questions just for you to answer and bring awareness of certain areas in your life. So 3: sales and influence, money relationship, and personal assessment. So either one of those, you can contact me and say, I would like to schedule the free of charge assessment with Lori. And either one of those, I'll be happy to offer if you are in Dakota's audience and you say you watch this show. It takes like 30 minutes. It can be a video call or a phone call.
Awesome. I'll definitely leave a link right below the video if you guys are interested right after the live. Okay. And is anything else that you would like to promote?
Yeah, my coaching services, of course, and hypnosis. If you haven't tried hypnosis, it's something that I invite you to try. I do clinical hypnosis, which is not the same as what you see in movies or on stage for entertainment. This is hypnosis that really gets to the core of the subconscious mind to release, resolve, and remove your issues. And of course, I would like to promote that my services out there for anybody that wants and need them. And it is amazing, especially for the new year. If you want to start with in a new light, in a new zone, I mean, I totally recommend it. Typically, my clients are people that have gone through, licensed therapy or counseling, and they're kind of reached a plateau. And to me, hypnosis is kind of like a shortcut. It gets faster to the core issues. So that's what I would invite you to do. And what I'm promoting is my services. So I have offers, and in this season, I feel very giving. So
let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it. So
awesome. Well, you guys heard it here. This is Lori Beard. If you guys want to start 2020 right, get your vision right, and start to undo subconscious traumas, and start to change your energy, you guys can hit Lori up. I'll leave her a link to her assessment right under the video, and you guys can find her on Facebook. Definitely.
Thanks for the opportunity, Dakota. Thanks for inviting me.
No problem. It was lovely having you.
Bye-bye.
All right, Laura. Peace. What's going on, guys? So if you're introverted anyway, 5%, 90%, doesn't matter. If you want to go into depth with unleashing your authentic charm, you can go to my website, dakotarogers.com, and schedule a free 20-minute chat. Send me an email at dakotarogers.com or send me a private message on Facebook today. And comment down below the top 3 daily frustrations, and if you like, I'll talk about it in the next video. I do videos like all the time. Subscribe down below if you're into that sort of thing. If you're on YouTube, yeah, subscribe. If you're on Facebook, I'm probably doing Facebook Lives like every single day right now because I'm just motivated, and I decided this is my purpose. I'm helping introverts with using their introvert to their advantage in their business and their relationships and their lives in general. Dakota Rogers, the soon-to-be top coach for introverted men and the #1 in the authentic charm method. Mark me.